Welcome back to Life is Strange Before the Storm Remastered. So, last episode ended with a bit of a bomb drop. After the fun of performing in the Tempest, we found out that the mysterious woman that Rachel's dad went to see in the very first in episode 1, he's actually Rachel's mother. The woman she always thought of as her mom is not actually her birth mother. Also, as you can see, once again, the screen's changed. First episode, this was all forest. Episode 2, it was all fire. Now it is just smoldering ashes. The fire does go out in this episode. In episode 3, I mean. I don't know, actually. I don't know which video of this series where the fire's gonna... You know what I mean. So anyway, yeah. Let us get started.
I want to tell you all of it. But are you sure that Chloe should be here for...
Chloe stays.
Of course. In every way that matters, Rose is my wife, and your mother. But the woman you saw at the Overlook, her name is Sarah. Your birth mother. I'm going to tell you everything, Rachel. Everything I've shielded you from for so long. But the truth can be hard to look at. Is this really something you're ready for?
So, yeah, they use the viewfinder as a
Chloe.
This obviously is just, yeah, that's just sort of a way of showing memories. So.
I'm right here. Good. I need you.
So yeah, this is obviously just, you know, a bit of a... Makes it more interesting than just showing a dude talking. It's just a way to make it a little bit more visually interesting than just having her dad talk. This is meeting.
When I was in high school, there was one person everyone adored. Her teachers, her friends. Sarah was everyone's favorite. Every boy wanted to date her. I could barely believe it when she picked me.
That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Sometimes, I think that's what kept me blind for so long.
Actually, I suppose before we... Oh, no. Nothing new there. I wasn't sure if it... all the graffiti from the first episode. Actually, I actually really like that one. Stop sexting the interns. I actually still like that one. That was genuinely funny. Then here's gonna be all this episode's graffiti. Which also, there's very slightly tells you a little bit of things to expect as well. Anyway.
She was so alive, so passionate about everything. Early on, though, I realized I wasn't enough for her. While the rest of us were pursuing college, careers, families, Sarah wasn't looking for any of that. She was looking for escape.
Also starting to sound just a little bit familiar.
When Sarah became pregnant, I thought it would solve everything. And it did. For a little while.
Maybe. Maybe some
Becoming your father was the greatest moment of my life. There was so much love, but I was still blind.
Parenthood. Descent. And here it gets
However
dark.
much she loved you then, it wasn't enough. For Sarah, the need to escape was always there. For over a year, I tried to help her. I made myself believe that she was still a good person.
Yeah, this feels like something I should have put a content warning for, actually.
No matter what happened, she would never do anything to hurt you. I was wrong. Eventually,
Yeah,
I
it's a lot of
saw
track
her
marks.
for who she really was. A destructive person. Someone who could never be satisfied. With anyone or anything. Even the love of her own daughter. I was desperate. I didn't know what to do. So I made a choice. I was never going to let her harm you again.
Yeah, pretty rough. Yeah, that is very rough stuff. Yeah, it's tragic.
What you saw at the Overlook, Rachel, it was true. We kissed. It was the saddest kiss of my life. It was a kiss goodbye. I told her that I was happy for her. That she felt like she'd gotten her life together. Finally. But she didn't get to just decide one day to be a mother. Not after what she'd done. Not after all the people she hurt. All the lives she destroyed. I told her she'd been given the greatest gift in the world. The chance to be your mother. And she squandered it. It pained me to hurt her like that. But I'd do it again. And again and again to keep you safe.
Makes him somewhat more sympathetic, though he's still a humorless dick. He's still kind of a humorless jerk. But
So that was the first time you've seen her or spoken with her in 15 years?
No. I sent her money. Every single month. It's our arrangement.
But now... she wants to see me?
But Rachel, it cannot be.
yep.
You think you have the right to decide that for her?
When I left Sarah, when I took Rachel away, I truly believe I saved her life. And I will continue to protect her no matter what.
But maybe she's different now. I mean, people change, right?
Maybe so. But consider that for 15 years, she's preferred that money to you.
Rachel. I think I need to lie down.
Yeah, that's gotta be rough.
I can't leave Rachel to deal with this alone.
So, yeah. Pretty heavy shit right off the bat. You know, we are less than 15 minutes in and we've got a mother using heroin and neglecting her baby and then taking money to stay away from that child for 15 years. Yeah. Yeah, pretty heavy way to start the episode. Max, I used to think the strangest thing about the Ambers was how normal they were. They seemed like a bad 90s sitcom family, and I did my best to play the part of the wacky yet lovable best friend. Yes, I did tag a newspaper picture of James on the fridge, but only because his face looked so stupid. The goal was to get in and out of there without causing a scene, so we could make our escape. About that, it turns out I couldn't just sit back and let Rachel's cheating father act all high and mighty. I put his smug ass in place and even turned Rachel's mom against him. Then Rachel snapped. I guess she just can't stand the lying anymore. She told her mom about James making out with that woman. Everyone started yelling, and the next thing I knew, Rachel was going full Destructicon on the table. That's when the truth finally came out. Rachel's mom equals not her mom. Rachel's real mom equals makeout woman. Mine equals Chloe. Chloe, the wacky yet lovable. And yeah, no surprise that this is the final. What can you say about a woman so mysterious? Her own daughter never heard of her until now. From what James told us, Sarah is a drug addict who got herself mixed up in all sorts of crazy shit. And by drugs, I mean OD and end up dead in an alleyway drugs, not smoke a bowl and watch anime. When Rachel was a baby, Sarah would get high when she was supposed to be looking after her. Things got so fucked up that James finally had to take Rachel away. The funny thing is, even as James talked about the horrible things Sarah had done, he still seemed, I don't know, fixated, I guess. You could see the power she had over him. Actually, when he was talking about how beloved and magnetic Sarah used to be, I couldn't help think of Rachel. I wonder if James sees that too. Maybe it's what makes him so afraid of her. Yeah, one thing that's interesting is, obviously this game was originally released episodically. A few months between, or I don't know, a few weeks, 3 months, I don't know what the time was between each, but there's a time between each episode. And a lot of people from the time episode 1 dropped, a lot of people actually predicted that that this woman, the mysterious woman, or at least they thought she looked a lot like Rachel. There were people like, she looks a lot like Rachel. So it was something that some people saw coming, but obviously, really well delivered, I thought. Anyway, now Sarah is in Arcadia Bay looking to meet Rachel. After years of taking James' money to stay away, suddenly she wants a relationship with her daughter. James seems skeptical, and Rachel, I can't even imagine what Rachel must be going through. Her text. Rachel and Chloe, where are you guys? We're at the Tempest cast party. I already texted Rachel like 8 times. Hey, I don't think we're making it. Chloe, you should come. Yeah, Chloe, you did awesome, babe. Brooke, hey, Chloe, great job tonight. Thanks, I can't. But you were amazing. I'll even admit that Mr. Keaton seemed a little disappointed when I arrived. Seriously, just come. Bring Rachel. Sorry, guys. Yeah, not really a party kind of mood. Not really in a particular party kind of mood.
Hard to argue that Rachel would have had a better life with Sarah. But does that make what James did right? Rachel only knew half the truth when she set that fire. What if she'd known everything?
She would have burned the whole damn town. She would have set the whole damn town on fire.
Whoa. Sarah Gearhart is a known associate of that psycho who attacked Drew? Then again, so is Frank.
And we did see her talking to Frank.
I hope tonight hasn't messed up Rachel's memories of family trips like this. The Tempest show feels so far away now. This is so painful to look at. This seems like a James and Rose bookshelf. I can't imagine Sarah here instead. Wonder what James is thinking right now. This must be hard for you too, Master Amber.
It could be far worse. My biggest fear is that Rachel will try to meet Sarah. I've dreaded it.
So that's why you never told her?
You have no idea what pain Sarah's caused. Her addiction has led her to do terrible things. I don't want Rachel to go through any of that.
I like the cut to that photo, actually. But yeah,
Shouldn't that be up to Rachel to decide?
Rachel is curious and determined. She's always going to want to know more.
I can believe that.
She won't be concerned about her own safety. She never has been.
Do you think Sarah is involved with any of the drug dealers around here?
It wouldn't surprise me if she were. That's who she is. Chloe, I believe Rachel trusts you more than anyone else right now.
Is this where you ask me to manipulate Rachel into doing what you want?
This is where I ask you to do as your conscience dictates. But please, put my daughter's safety first.
I mean, what if my conscience dictates honesty? Yeah, what if my conscience dictates that it's her choice? Because, I mean, I'm inclined to think that it's still her choice.
Maybe try the truth for a change?
What do you mean?
Well, you did lie to your daughter for 15 years.
This is true. And that's why I need your help. I only care about Rachel, Chloe.
I'll do what I can. I care about her too, you know?
I know. Thank you.
Holy shit. Rachel completely destroyed that table.
I was gonna say only the glass, but no, she did do damage to the rest of it as well. Well, they can afford a new one.
I guess there's worse things than growing up around fancy stuff like this.
Still an ugly painting, though.
It's so weird to look at this now. Can't believe I was feeling goofy enough to draw that just a few hours ago.
I mean, not even hours.
I can't even imagine how she must be feeling.
Yeah, like that wasn't even hours ago. That was just before dinner. They didn't even finish getting through the dinner. Like, the dinner was being finished up when she did that. They ate not long after. They ate probably like 15 minutes after she drew that. If that long. Yeah, it's probably been less than an hour since she did that little doodle.
Hey, Mrs. Amber.
I think it's Rose at this point, considering everything.
Okay, Rose.
She has kind of a... I don't know, there's something... little bit of a light bit of humor there, I felt like.
Do you need any help with...
Whoops.
The broom for me? It's in the breezeway. Door to the left of the fridge. Were you able to find the broom?
Hey, cool graphic. Rachel was really getting rid of this?
kind of cool.
Mrs. Amber, could I have this?
Oh, sure, Chloe. Rachel was going to give it away anyhow.
Thanks.
And then she slips it in her back pocket or something. And that is a shirt that we can now wear. Or we'll be able to put on later.
Here you go.
Thank you. I'm really quite glad that you're here.
Thanks. But why?
While Rachel's dealing with all of this, it's a relief to know she can talk to you. How are you doing, Chloe?
How am I doing?
Your generation loves to talk about how awkward different things are. Well, this must be pretty awkward, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
It's fine. Rachel's the one who's really upset.
She has every reason to be. There are many painful things about Rachel's past, including my own role in hiding the truth.
Doesn't matter how painful it is. You don't lie to someone you love.
You might be right.
Yeah, you kind of
But-
do.
Can any of us really know what we would do in his situation? He's been a devoted father for 15 years. I know he loves Rachel more than anything.
I'm surprised you're defending him after what he did at the Overlook.
It might be hard for you to understand, but after 13 years of marriage, I'm not threatened by what happened.
You're right. I don't understand.
You
Fair
don't
enough.
have to worry about me or James. Rachel's the one who needs you right now.
Do you think Sarah is dangerous?
I've never met her, so I don't know. But I'm inclined to trust my husband.
Should you?
His entire life is about keeping people safe. Rachel's extremely fortunate to have him as her father.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chloe.
I mean, fair enough about trusting him.
Rachel took that pretty hard. I should see if she's okay.
Definitely don't get the impression that he was lying about Sarah overdosing while looking after Rachel. And, all that, so yeah, it's probably fair to think that Sarah's dangerous. Yeah, I mean, it's a complicated situation. I think at some point it is probably wrong to keep from her that Rose isn't her real mom. Or isn't, not real, her birth mother. It's probably better to let her know that Rose isn't her birth mother. And just, you don't need to go into details right away, but
I should check on Rachel.
yeah, at some point, probably gonna have to be like, yeah, your birth mother, she was not a good mother. We divorced. I won't go into details about why she was a bad mother, but she was a bad mother. I Don't by Coda.
Rachel?
Nice song.
I need some way to show Rachel that I'm here for her.
Objective, be here for Rachel.
Rachel has so many inspirations, she can barely keep them all contained.
Classical, road trip, bunnies, constellations. Yep. Kiss me, Kate. Nothing is impossible. The word itself says, I'm possible. Audrey Hepburn. Cute. The beginning is always today. Mary Wollstonecraft. Let us think the unthinkable. Let us do the undoable. Let us prepare to grapple with the ineffable itself, and see if we may not F it after all. Oh, Douglas Adams. He did have a way with words. Is it well that I should find, is it well that I should with to leave this drear world behind, seeking for your fair utopia, which perchance I may not find? Henry Kendall. Kiss me, Kate at the promenade. Once upon a time at the forum at the Paradiso. The glass menagerie at the Weber Playhouse.
We were so close to making our break last night. Now, I don't know.
Alright, so there actually are two graffiti options here as well.
Rachel's always made being an A student seem so easy. Almost sad to see all this effort.
Biology, page 247 and 959, lab notes, drama, dress rehearsal, blocking review, light cues, etc. English. Lord of the Flies, I would assume. 188 to 244. I had Lord of the Flies in English class. I didn't actually end up finishing reading it. American Experience, essay prompt, 3 to 5 pages rough. Latin conjugation worksheet, vocab list, 180. Latin class, jeez.
I think Rachel could use another subject. But which one?
Extra credits achieved.
That's the one. I bet Rachel could have any study partner she wanted. Not that I would let her.
Anatomy. Where do babies come from? Show and tell. The other one, Herbology. Page 420. Puff Puff versus Pass. 500 words.
Hard to believe the show was only a few hours ago. Seems like everything has changed since then. At least she'll have something from tonight. Even you, Willie, couldn't come up with the tragedy Rachel's going through.
I mean, he probably could have.
I bet Rachel would rather be anywhere but here. Maybe I can make the world a less scary place. On stage, I think Rachel said,
And American Graffiti achievement. Yeah. The corners of the world are mere prologue. Which was a really good line. Yeah, it was a banger line from Rachel. The other option is let me know if you need an accomplice.
Rachel was incredible as Prospera. I won't forget a second of it. I've heard that Rachel and Nathan hang out sometimes, but it still seems hard to believe.
Well, I mean, Rachel just kind of hangs out with everybody.
I can't imagine what Rachel is thinking right now. I want her to tell me when she's ready.
You know what? This one time, I will forgive the shoes on the bed. Just this one time.
Cool light. This light needs more light. Wonder what I could find around here to brighten up that nightlight. Rachel's really into stars. I wonder if it's her way of feeling connected.
That seems like kind of a cool globe.
I know something Miss Arcadia doesn't. Weird.
Dear Miss Arcadia, what's the real deal with that fire north of town? And when's it going to come down here and incinerate us all in its fiery hug of death? Asking for a friend. Bros before bronies. Fun fact. This game took place before bronies were a thing. First season of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic debuted in, I believe it was 2011. And the whole brony oh no, it actually did debut in 2010. Or it did debut in 2010, but it was after this, after the event of this game. Yeah, debuted October of 2010. And this game takes place, what was it, May or something like that? So My Little Pony had not debuted at the time that this show, at the time that this game is set. And the brony phenomenon did form directly out of that generation of Friendship is Magic. It wasn't a part of the earlier My Little Pony stuff. That term specifically arose out of the fandom of Friendship is Magic. So, is that interesting trivia? No, it is not. Anyway, first, Guy Forget. First, King Walls. No, King Walls. Didn't the fire start the day after Firewalk was here? North Coaster. This is a strange one, friends. ABFD sources say they've never seen anything like it. No idea where it came from, no idea why it's lasted this long. Total mystery. Time to put on your tinfoil hats and start speculating. Ask Miss Arcadia. There's a dragon with matches that's loose on the town. Dead fan. Prescott's. Like, 50% serious. Lady Aphrodite. Why only 50? Prescotts are shady as shit. You'd really put this past them? They probably had some incriminating evidence to burn, or better yet, bodies. Not to mention the chemtrails that drop all over town, highly flammable. No poor thing forever. Occam's razor, people. Just some kids getting high in the woods. As for the weirdness, this town is weird. What else is new? SZ. At nothing forever. But why male models? Aphrodite. We are built on an Indian burial ground, are we not? King Wolves. Native people's burial ground. And no, we're not. Burn! Get it? I forget. Previous topic. Legalize Oregon movement, how to get involved. Next topic. Blackwell tuition spike, it's coming. My male model is obviously a reference to, what was that? Zoolander? Is it Zoolander? Not a movie I've ever watched. Apparently that line was kind of an ad-lib. The one character finished, but why male models? And then the character explained, and then Ben Stiller just completely blanked on his next line, so just said, but why male models? Again? And it was just funny enough that they decided to keep that in the movie. Just because it's a good movie. It's a solid joke that highlights how stupid his character is. And yeah, it just came about completely because Ben Stiller blanked.
I could get grades like this. I just don't want to.
She could, is the funny thing. She could get grades like this if she wanted to. Latin honors, excellence personified. American experience, unfailingly insightful and dedicated. 20th century lit, indefatigable of mind and spirit. Biology honors, an absolute star pupil. Drama lad, the light of Dionysus brightly shone. I love him. I love Mr. Keaton. And phys ed, perfect attendance. I do like that for phys ed. Perfect attendance. Who cares? Because it's phys ed, who cares?
Is there a section on how to walk fours through batshit crazy family drama? No?
Individualist. Type 4, the individualist. Creative, sensitive, independent. Can be prone to melancholy and self-indulgence. The best thing for a 4 is to learn how to let go of feelings from the past and focus on the potential that the future holds. Yeah. Yeah, that seems fair for her.
Makes sense that Rachel needs 2 signs to contain her awesomeness. I shall call her Lion Crab from now on.
That's funny. The cusp of oscillation, Cancer Leo. Strengths, creative, passionate, loving, devoted, diplomatic. Weaknesses, self-centered, volatile, possessive, dramatic. Yep.
Rachel's surrounded by so much love, yet she seems so... alone.
To our wonderful daughter on the night of her first show, break a leg, we love you, Mom and Dad.
Rachel even knows how to make a dinky lamp look cool.
Hey, Rachel. I'm glad you're here, Chloe.
Of course.
Almost missed this.
The yin and badass yang of Rachel Amber.
Above all, remember, you are loved. Before all else, be armed. Machiavelli. Fair.
May you always be safe. Sure. But from who?
Can I close this drawer? I can't. I just got randomly curious if I can close the drawer.
Rachel might not survive her family, but at least she'll survive the zombie apocalypse.
That is well prepared. Water, first aid kit, radio. Pretty sure that's a blanket. Flashlight. Having water in there is really good, really smart. Chloe, I'm leaving the door unlocked in case you don't have your key. Please come home. Doesn't matter that it's after curfew. Mom, I can't right now. Please. Okay, I can't, but this time it's not my fault that I can't go. There's someone who needs me. Yep, gotta get lots of light in here. For as long as the battery lasts.
All ready for Rachel's light show. Better get her attention first. Hey, check it out.
It's beautiful.
I thought you might like it.
Yep, that
I've
is
always
very
loved
pretty.
stars.
Why?
They remind us there's so much beauty out there, which we almost never see.
Because we're blinded by what's in front of us.
Exactly. But then I learned the truth. The stars we're seeing have already been dead for millions of years.
Okay,
They're
yes,
all-
but...
Lies.
Okay, yes, but... They're still pretty. Yeah, let's go with this option.
But that doesn't make them any less beautiful. Right?
I don't know. If they're not even real, then what's the point? It's all lies. Everything. My entire life. My dad. My mom. If I can even call her that anymore.
Oh, you absolutely
And
can.
that other woman,
She's the woman who raised you.
my real mom. She's the biggest lie of all. I can't trust any of them. I think you're the only one in the world I can trust.
I mean, probably not, but
I'll take it. Even if it's only by process of elimination.
Good. I wore this bracelet my entire life. I never even asked why. Never even thought about it. Somehow, I think I always knew. Even when I didn't know. That my real mother was gone.
You should take it back.
No. There's nowhere else I'd rather keep it than right here.
still very romantic. This song is called All I Wanted.
The virtue is going in the way. Keep it tight so no one will stray. Staring at a light, needless to say.
I know they're upset, but it still bugs me that they have their shoes on the bed. Take your shoes off when you're in the bed. No shoes on the bed. Gah. Why are we white people like this? Wearing our shoes in the bed.
At my stupid bedroom, all that I wanted.
White people, I'm sorry, we need to do better.
Oh, and I wonder why I'm not wanted. All that I wanted was not there, but I dared be wanted. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Corridor,
Even though I didn't smooch,
yeah.
Rachel,
And you call me
this still feels very romantic. This scene still feels very
when I
romantic.
see you.
You know, it still feels like they're moving in that direction.
Arms, I love you, and I won't be bothering with morning. It's crucial that you see the truth when looking for yourself, not useless.
Man, it's pretty enough song to just letting it play for a bit. And a nice scene.
Yeah, in a corridor. Yeah,
Should I let it play more?
and you call me. Yeah, when I see you, you know damn well.
I like Daughter. They're good.
The fact that she's here right now, that she came here for me, I think I need to see her. Is that wrong?
Nah.
Of course not. But it might be tough to track her down.
Yeah. That's true. Luckily, I've got my secret weapon. But what if we can't find her? It's not like I can ask my dad. I have no idea where to start.
Yeah, I've got an idea.
I think I know what to do. I'll call Frank and get him to connect us to her.
You'd do that?
I'll give it a shot.
Of course, even if we know where she is, we need a way to get to her. I can't just ask my parents for a ride.
I think I might be able to fix up that truck in the junkyard.
Really?
I'll
Yeah,
give
that's-
it my best.
Now Rachel's just fishing
I know you will.
for assurances.
But even if we find her, how will I talk to her? What do I say?
Hi! The fuck was wrong with you doing heroin while I was a baby? The hell, lady? Yeah, I figure.
After my dad died, I didn't know how to keep talking to him. I still don't. But it doesn't matter. All that matters is that he's there.
Your dad?
In my dreams. He's there. And it's so real. It's almost like it's another part of my life. It used to be the only part that mattered. I've never told anyone about that. Weird, huh? Rachel?
I was just thinking. Maybe I was wrong before. Who cares if the stars are dead? As long as we can still see them, that means they're real. To us. Right?
Right.
And hey, yeah. What we're seeing is their life. The way they blazed before the end. And hey, speaking of Chloe's dreams about her dad. Quite the audience there.
Dad, I think we're stuck. Hey, maybe you should let me drive. You always do it wrong.
That was one time. When are you going to let it go?
Remember when we used to work on cars together? Those are some of my favorite memories.
Ooh, that was uncomfortable for a moment. The way he switched to David for just a couple seconds there.
Don't you mean my memories? I don't think you remember after you're dead.
Touche.
Maybe it's all you remember. Maybe
All right,
memories
you
are
win.
all you have.
Why don't you go take a look?
You sure? Ugh.
What's wrong? Don't you see anything?
Yeah, it's unsettling again.
Fine. It's the spark plug.
No, that's not it. I just had that replaced.
Isn't improv supposed to be all about yes and?
Yes, and what?
Dad, stop. None of this is real. You're not real. Rachel's family isn't real. This whole thing, it's all just theater.
Well, you know what William Shakespeare said.
No?
Something about stories told by idiots, full of sound and fury, signifying fuck all.
Nailed it.
Yeah, pretty close
I
to it.
don't want to be an actor. I just want to be myself. Give me a break.
Well, maybe there's a reason we pretend. Maybe the lies we tell each other are less horrible than the truths we keep hidden.
Wow. That's pretty dark, Dad.
Where do you think you get it from? There's my cue.
Dad?
Relax, sweetie. It's all pretend, right?
Right.
Just a bit of stage magic. Floodlights, sound effects. Chloe, look at me. Look at me, sweetheart. It's going to be okay.
Yep. Yeah, that's dark. I do like Victoria booing right at the end there. Like, it's all sad and dark and then horrible when he gets run over and just left a smear of blood. It's all terrible, and then boo. Just brings it to dark humor. Anyway, yeah, good place to end this episode. And, yeah, a lot of heavy stuff. A lot of emotional stuff. I do like that even though I didn't kiss Rachel, that, there's still some romantic subtext between Chloe and Rachel even without the kiss. Couldn't think of it. I didn't mention it at the time, but depending on the choices you've made, how you've interacted with Rachel up until that point, sort of depends how passionate the kiss is. It can be something fairly quick and almost chase, or it can be, you know, full-blown make out on the street type of kiss. Anyway, so yeah, as usual, good stuff. Good stuff. I do like the story in this game, even if there were some frankly unfortunate bits of some unfortunately glitches and things like that. Yeah, anyway, that'll do for this episode. So, join me for the next episode. I hope to see you then.